What's good, Wagering World? It's your boy Five Star in Vegas, broadcasting live as always from beautiful Summerlin, Nevada. This is the Wagering World. I'm in here with my two co-hosts. Let's start with the youngest man to ever run a Las Vegas casino sportsbook on the Strip. My little brother, Sino Royale. What it do, Sino?
Wow, what's good, Wagering World? Y'all already know who it is. Coming off a raw play winner this morning on the ATP. We had old Quentin Haley's this morning. That was a easy one. He got that done in straight sets. That's a good way to start the Wagering World Wednesday. What's up, Five? What you got for us today, big brother?
Man, great morning for me on the tennis as well. I jumped in live and I was able to get McCarthy Kessler, who's been one of my girls I've been on for a second. She's one of the ones that I have in my charts from back in the game, seeing her in the qualifiers in the U.S. Open. And I've been kind of riding her turning the corner. I kind of saw this coming, man, and she was able to get it done down 5-4. Second set, I go live because we know breaks on anything in the WTA. It's very easy for a good player to break another player. So I catch her plus 205 and was able to hit that. And also, I played this year also overnight in, I believe, Santiago. He was playing. He won as well. Also, we got the OG of the show, man. Been with me since day one. The only Sacramento Kings fan that I know. What's good, Spread Astaire, this morning?
Man, I'm excited that we're, NBA season winding down. The cream's rising to the top. And we got March Madness coming up. So can't wait to talk some sports with you guys.
Really good time right now. Y'all hit that like button if you're rocking with the Wagering World. It's always us versus the machine. You already know what it is. And Spread, we really want to appreciate again, man. Spread is working a really different shift now and doing a lot of different things in his life, trying to get his property ready and still making time to come here with you guys. So you guys show Spread some love. You guys, if you aren't following him, go follow him at Spread Astaire. His DMs are open, just like Sino's and mine. Hit him up, ask him questions. We really love consulting you guys and help you guys get some winners home. Let's not waste any time. Let's jump right into the pass, Spread.
That's right. Michigan gets it done on the road against Nebraska. What did you see in that game, Five Star?
Man, that one was a completely different game than we thought it would be as far as in like the totals, man. Look how it was it turned into a really old school defensive Big Ten game. And both of these teams are kind of known for filling it up. Very low scoring contest. Bryce Williams accounted for more than half of the points. 60% actually of the points for Nebraska. He had 26 points. The rest of the team only had 20 points, with the highest score besides him being a guy getting 6 points. That's not going to get it done. Michigan much more balanced. 3 starters in double digits led by Rodney Gale, the transfer from Ohio State. Michigan is a really deep team, but Michigan has to get more scoring from guys like Burnett, who was really a big part of that offense earlier in the year. And the other shooters, man, they are really struggling from the three-point line. In this game, they go 5 of 27 for 19%. So the client tonight, we took Michigan first half, squeaked it out, won that one. As far as the game on here, we suggested Nebraska. Nebraska doesn't get it done late. They pushed it right to the end, and then Michigan wisely started fouling. Dusty May is a really smart guy. Every time that they got on that three, he turned into a foul, go shoot your free throws and try to miss, and ended up with Michigan holds on. So great job by the Wolverines on that one. As they prepare for the Big Ten tournament, man, they better find that shooter. They're in the wrong time of the year to have a shooting slump. What'd you see, Sino?
Nothing right at the end. I knew it was going to be a bad beat. I gave out the plus 1.5 actually. And when Michigan scored them 3 straight possessions and took the 6-point lead, I'm like, oh, man, we kind of in trouble. And I'm like, they're going to start playing the foul game. Man, we have plus 1.5. They're going to foul and they're going to score the 3 free throws. God, please don't let it happen. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. But, hey, we move on. We capitalized later on that night.
Good.
All right. And the next game that we talked about was Houston traveling to Texas Tech. Houston continues to win, man. What an exciting time for you as a Houston fan. And it's just cool to see that program really find continued success, because we've seen it here or there. I don't know. I mean, is it fair to call them a smaller program? I don't remember them always being dominant, but we've seen flashes, right? Wichita State gets good for a couple years. K-State will get good for a couple years. And they can't keep it going. Houston's kept it going now, man. They've been a really good program for a while, and they got another good win. What did you see there, and what do you think about just this continued success that they're finding down there?
Well, I think that Tillman Fertitta and the Fertitta family really changed things for not only the University of Houston program, but his cousin also did that here in Las Vegas for UNLV. So I'm really lucky that both of the places that I call home, Houston and Las Vegas, had the Fertitta family helping the schools in that area and making sure that these programs have what it takes to compete in nowadays NIL world that we live in with college sports. So shout out to the Fertitta family. I know his nephews, man. They some really cool little cats that used to always hang around the studios and stuff, man. I think that Houston already had a great base, and that's the difference between them and Wichita State and other what you would call mid majors. Now Houston's moved itself back up to where it was originally as a major school, even though it's a city school. It's much like Miami, even though Miami is just a city school, it's not a state university. Such a big city, so much success, such a big alumni with money to fund it that it's a big university. So I think Houston's just came back. And it has a couple up and down years, but if you remember and think back, you can go all the way back to Elvin Hayes in the 60s when they played UCLA and it was the #1 team against the #2 team. The Cougars have been around and been a good team. Just had some off years, a little bit less time off than SMU, but now SMU is back as well. And that's good to see for people in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. But these are all old school Big A teams that suffered from when the governor of the state, she had a bone to pick for some reason with a bunch of different schools, man, in the Big Eight, and ended up when everything kind of went major sports. A lot of teams kind of had some down periods. SMU because of the suspensions. Houston had some suspensions, but not nearly the death penalty like SMU had. But they also were left out of the scene when everybody went to the Big 12. They were supposed to go as well, and they ended up having to play in some smaller conferences, and that's why people look at them as a mid-major. But at the end of the day, Houston is not a mid-major school; it's a major school. And as we've seen now, that Coach Sampson is in the Big 12. He's dominated it. I mean, no one's had a better record in the Big 12 than Houston. They've already surpassed so many teams for titles. Besides Kansas, I think they have the most titles already in the Big 12 in that small time of being there. Haven't lost a game this year on the road. I appreciate you, Spread, for telling me keep it simple, stupid. We always play Houston first half. I was kind of worried about the marketing numbers, and then thank you to Sino. Sino was made me talk it out a little bit more and say, you know what, you're right. They lost to them. They're not gonna lose again. It don't matter if 90% of the public owns because
Right.
Kelvin Sampson don't give a damn about what Vegas needs. All he's worried about is getting in that locker room and having these guys compete, play hard, and play with pride. And that's exactly what they did. So the clients, thanks to my guys on the wagering world, were able to cash. We ended up last minute taking, as you guys knew I would.
I told y'all.
University of Houston first half, University of Houston second half, and the game. We went 3 ways around on that game. Just a strong effort. At first, I was thinking that my Cougs didn't really have a chance to win it, that they could make it to the Final Four and maybe lose in that area to Auburn or someone with a little bit more explosiveness. But now that Milos Uzan, who comes from right here in Vegas, another weird connection, the Vegas to Houston connection, he's the best player right now in the Big 12. He's taking over these games. Kelvin Sampson is giving him the confidence to run this team, but man, he's taking advantage of a big 3 at the end of the game to really like seal it. As long as Uzan's playing like he plays, we know that the other guys around him are really good. So many ballers on that team, so much hard defense, so much rebound, so much defensive rebounding, which is important to win it. So look for Houston to go deep this year. I'm really glad we cashed them. What you seen, Sino?
Shout out to Houston. They became the first team to win a major conference title in its first 2 seasons, in at least since Idaho did in 1922 and 23. That's
Right.
a big move.
Great stat.
For real, Sino with
Like,
the stats.
Pre-depression, huh?
Yeah.
Roaring 20s. That's how long we got to go back.
Yeah, right.
That means it's hard to do, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And man, 5, like I said, sometimes we don't have to overthink it. The Red Raiders without 2 of their top players, Chance McMillan, Darian Williams, they was gonna have some problems. And Houston came out, did what they had to do. As simple as that. We definitely rode that way.
Finally, 5-star, we had a fun game between Kansas and Colorado. Kansas barely squeaks out the cover. They were 6.5-point favorites. What did you see in that one?
Just a bad beat on this one, man. It was a good handicap. One of the rare times that I capped college basketball by a numbers play. Most of the time, college sports in general, I like to just look at the fact of the teams matching up. And Kansas clearly had a way better team. I mean, Colorado's been horrible this year. They're 11-17, 12-16 against the spread. But that 6.5 told me that the lines makers thought it would be close, and they were looking for a lot of Kansas money. And they took a bloodbath, I'm sure, on Monday at the books, because I know all the squares took Kansas. I know all the squares took Houston. And I know all the squares took Michigan, and all of them were
Most
able to
definitely.
come through on this one. Late cover by Kansas at the free throw line. Big guy from Michigan, he's been in school about 20 years, finally shows up for Kansas, and Hunter Dickinson, uh, the 7-footer, goes for 32 points in this one. Colorado just isn't the team that it's been in the past, but the numbers were right. We lose it as a play with the group and on here, but with the half a point, when you lose at 7, what can you do? So it was one of those situations where we're going to come down to being right on the number. Unfortunately, it didn't go our way in the group.
Sino, did you watch that game, and what are your thoughts?
Hunter Dixon fried them people. That's what he was. He made 13 to 18 shots. He was 6 for 10 from the free throw line. What could you do with that? The Bucks led for a little while, and then they played from behind, and they tried to keep it close. Like you said, man, that's a half a point. There's nothing you could do about that. That's just a bad beat, bad break, like good handicap.
All right, let's move on. The NBA. The Clippers took on the Pistons, man. The Pistons continue their win streak. They haven't lost since the All-Star break.
Yes, sir. Good call, Fred.
Now on national media, like, you don't get a lot of knowledge from it, but I do listen to it to keep me an idea of what most people are thinking about basketball. And Bill Simmons has Cade Cunningham in his top 10 now. So to me, that gives me an idea that, he's finally getting his due as one of the top players in the league. So once again, man, Cunningham wins. And this is what I love about the NBA. Maybe teams that people are making a lot of money betting against the last couple of years, when they get hot, you jump on it quickly. The Pistons are that team right now. What'd you see, 5-star?
A great job by the Pistons on this one. I told you before the game I wouldn't bet this one. It was just going to be too close. Two really good teams. You know how I feel about Ty Lue. And also, I'm a big fan of Bickerstaff when he's in these type of positions with young teams that he's teaching how to win. Not so much when he gets into the playoffs. He hasn't proven himself as a good playoff coach. But he does know how to get the best out of young teams, man. Very similar to Ime Udoka. And the Pistons are playing really well. And it's crazy. They're on the same timeline pretty much now as the Rockets. I cashed what I played, and that was Jalen Duren to go over 11.5 points. We cashed it in the group and also on the show. I don't know why, man. Every time I bet that kid, he comes through for me. So I'm going to just continue to ride him when I feel like he's in a good spot and the book's got a bad number on him. So cash Jalen Duren over here.
Sino, did you watch that game, and what are your thoughts on the up-and-coming Detroit Pistons?
I told you guys last show on Monday that I love the Pistons. Cade was hot, man. We got to definitely ride this team. Keep riding them, right? So I'm like, I'm going to give the Pistons out. I was tired, like I told you guys on Monday. I went to sleep. I woke up at the half. Pistons was up. I'm like, damn, do I take them again at the half? And I was just looking at some things and some stats, and I was like, Bogdanovic, he's kind of shaky. If he's not playing well, this team not gonna be able to do nothing. And like without that leading scorer, normal power, of course the Clippers could show up. So we took the Detroit Pistons in the second half, and Cade Cunningham, he carried his team like he should. And like 5-star said, during he added his 12 points and 19 rebounds to help the Pistons secure that win. And the Pistons, they looking good. Playoff contenders. I don't think we've seen a Piston look this good since the early 2000s.
Right. Denver Nuggets take on the Pacers here. I was afraid, man. I don't like laying points on the road.
Told you guys.
But the Nuggets, it was a bounce back spot, and they definitely bounced back. Game went under too. Right? And it's always it takes a lot of cojones to bet a Pacers under, but you earned your money on that one. Sino, we'll start with you here. Did you watch Jokic and the Nuggets get it done?
I had to, man. I love the Nuggets in this spot. Like I said, the best player in the world. I definitely thought the game would go over. I did not touch the total. The 4.5 was good. It was free. If you watched the game, you had plenty of time to even get better numbers than that. Pacers just gonna keep up, man. That's all I seen. And again, I felt it was a trap game. They came from LA. They just got blew out. They had to redeem themselves.
Yeah, and we talked about, it was college basketball, the same deal. I mean, Pacers, what a great postseason they had last year, but they just can't keep it going. And not a lot of turnover either. This is a lot of the same squad. So, 5-star, what did you see there between the Nuggets and the Pacers?
I just went to my old school way of betting. That number was just too high, against a team like the Nuggets coming off a loss and the way the Malone coaches. I know that the Pacers are up tempo. They're going to put up a lot of shots, but I knew that it was no way that total was going to go over. So even though you guys tried to talk me off of it, I was a little hard headed on that one. I was just like, I told
Good
my
job.
group,
Good
like,
job.
man, I ain't laying. I'm not betting the over on that 245 and a half. I'm sorry, not with Denver. So I ended up going under. We were able to cash on that one. Just as far as in the game, looks like Denver's prepping for the playoffs. Pacers are up and down. We'll see if they can find themselves like they did last spring.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder how much they miss Buddy Hield, man. I know that he doesn't do a lot, but just that sharpshooting just faces the floor and can be so key to some of those runs. Even if he's not playing good defense, right? You get the other guys to lock in, and he's knocking down shots. That's how you get some of those big runs.
They looked good in the playoffs without him last year. I think that what it is just everything's based on Halliburton, and Halliburton, kind of like C.J. Stroud, was new to being famous this summer after going to the Olympics. You see, he's always on there with girls. When you see him do his little post, he might have it snowing somewhere. So he, I think he's in a blizzard right now. When he gets out that blizzard, they'll pick that game back up. Right now, it's just new for a young kid like him, and you can tell it's always been kind of square, do the right thing, wears bow ties and stuff like that. Now he's getting a little loose, so he's dealing with being a celebrity. But as they get closer to the playoffs, I say watch the Pacers because we know they got a really good coach over there and a formidable lineup.
The funny thing is, you say that, I'm thinking maybe next year. He's
Yeah,
probably going to take a little while to work through this.
yeah, probably. I agree because he don't look like himself this year at all.
Yeah, let's talk about the Minnesota Timberwolves. I did not, Ticino, or one of you guys texted money line. I didn't talk about cojones. I didn't have them there, but the 12.5 was good, man. And I felt that the handicap I gave out on the show was good with the idea that they had hit 54% in the other game. I said, hey, they're not going to shoot that good. The Timberwolves, they had that 16-0 run, and if you saw it, Thunder were jacking up a lot of threes there, and they just weren't falling. And that's just kind of how, right? We know this team they're good 3-point shooting, 38%, and then you take the averages of both games, it ended up 38%. It just so happened that one of the games was 54%, and the other one was about 17 or something. So, we get the cover there, and if you guys took the money line, more credit to you. You guys are brave, but it ends up getting it done, and we do like that zigzag theory, and we do like fading those real outlier performances of like 55% from three. 5-star, what'd you see?
Great game. I tuned in right at the end because I thought we didn't cover. I didn't lay the money line. I laid the points. Everybody on the show, we all took the points because of the very thing that you broke it down. It was back-to-back game. We know the T-Wolves had lost the other night in the fourth quarter, and the T-Wolves showed a fight that Anthony Edwards puts in that team as being the leader. Even though he didn't really have a good game, he only took 15 shots, and he was 5 of 15, only 17 points. The others for that team really stepped up. Man, they really shined. We got my guy Nas Reed out the boot, went to LSU. He's going to be a huge free agent this summer. He's about to make him some money. 22
Yeah, and I don't think he's going back either.
Nah, he's not coming back. He's definitely he's going somewhere to start. He think about the Lakers will pay him so fast, like he's gonna go somewhere and make some money. Jaden McDaniels, you know how long I've loved Jaden McDaniels. Even coming out of Washington, I always told people I loved his mentality. He's a real two-way guy, but people didn't understand that he can score. I remember seeing him at Washington being the number one option, and he's a very good player, man. He can handle the ball, he can shoot, he can do a lot of things that he doesn't even show because he's such a team player at Minnesota. He accepts his role. Then you had Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who's the cousin of Shea. He always plays good against SGA. He goes for 21 points. He's been a big deal off the bench. But then you had the two rookies that I keep telling guys why I'm looking at Reed Shepherd some type of way. When you got guys like Terrence Shannon come in, go 7 of 10 for 17 points playing big minutes. You got Rob Dillingham hitting a big three at the end of the fourth quarter in the game, goes for 12 points. These kids are contributing, man. They're part of the rotation. And I'm going to need Reed to watch his class and step up next year when he starts getting some PT because these guys are doing it right now as rookies. getting it done. Unbelievable run at the end of the game. I watched it 16-0. I could not believe what was happening. When I checked my phone, they were getting smoked in the third quarter. I was like, we lost that one. When I look back on it, it was like 121, 115 or something. I'm like, oh, I'm going to tune in to see what happened. I could not believe the stuff that I saw. Timberwolves 41-19 edge in the fourth quarter. And I knew when they got to OT after that, I started betting live money line because I'm like, they about to win. OKC shook because they're wondering how the hell do we blow this lead like this? So good job. I'd love to see these two teams face off in the playoffs. I think that Anthony Edwards would have enough with the T-Wolves to really push this team to probably 7 games. So two of the best young stars in the game in SGA and Anthony Edwards, man. But in this one, these teams are only as good as the others. And, man, the others from Minnesota was spectacular. Usually Shea has the best guys around him playing well, but tonight it was definitely Minnesota.
Sino, Thunder, Timberwolves.
This game right here, man, it really blew my mind to see Minnesota rally back without Edwards, who just played 3.5 minutes in the fourth quarter, and they did it without Rudy Gobert. Like, it definitely goes to show you that this team is ready to play. And I also believe that the NBA is just trying to create a little rival between these two teams. And like Five Star said, if we were to see these teams in the playoffs, we know that the Minnesota Timberwolves definitely have a chance. It's not going to be no blowout. And Spread, just like you said, OKC, they had the chances, but they missed a ton of open shots. All the shots were there. They just wasn't falling. Live by the 3, you die by the 3. Simple as that.
Yeah, and it's funny when some of the older guys on the pods, they get on and they talk about too many threes. I don't know if it really ruins the watchability, but I do think the variance is so high that you end up getting more blowouts, and it makes sense, right? In a lower scoring game, it's more likely, that's why we always say points are more valuable in a game with a total of 202 than a total of 234. And I think we saw that variance come home in this little home back and back that these two teams played, right? Because Oklahoma City knocks down their shots, easy win. They don't fall, Timberwolves get the victory. So, that 3-point variance really has become the tale of the NBA. And I know, I'm used to it now and I don't got a problem with it, but I know there's a lot of older heads that do. Let's move to the WTA. Magda Linette beats Cacharetto. I did not watch that one, Five Star. I missed it. What did you see?
Yeah, we bet that one heavy in the group. That was one of our bigger plays. They were giving that one away minus 135 on hard court.
And you ain't share that with me. You ain't send me that $5,000 bet.
What do you mean? It was in the. I bet you Spread got it. It was in the Ball and Parlay.
Yeah, we had it.
Yeah,
I just didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, that was the easiest one ever, man. Lynette is a good hard court player. She's one of those ladies that's right underneath. I say in that range of maybe, even though she's ranked, she's even ranked in there. I'd say she's about a 20 to 40 player, out of women in the world. She's number 37. I like her a lot against certain ladies, and even against the big dogs, she pushes a lot of them, man. A lot of the top 10 players she plays. And I know that Coach Ureta was not any type of competition for her. She's still dealing with some mental stuff. She's one of those girls who up and down, and she be smiling all weird at you like a psycho when she returning and stuff, and reading books when she sits down. But she got mocked in the second set. She ended up getting 6 love. So it was a layup for us, and we did good on that one. That really made us happy.
All right. Did you? So Sino, you didn't listen. Did you watch the match?
I missed out. I missed out on the money. That's what happened.
Yeah.
All right. 5 Star. Did we make a mistake because it wasn't a big money match for Sloan? Right? Maybe only player in the big money, man.
I'm not betting Sloan anymore. Spread.
And the second we say that, she's gonna get hot. She's gonna go to Indian Wells,
right? She gonna win like 4 rounds at the French
Open. She might do it well at Indian Wells too. That's a good tournament for her. I think that surface, she likes it.
She better do something because she's in the realm now. Sway, what's her name? Sway.
Swayzang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right now, she's Sloane Stevens is on the verge of being Swazing because she hasn't won a match in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 straight losses on tour, man. And she barely beat Giacomo, who is not a good player from France. She loses to Martic. Martic had never beaten Sloane. Sloane had been playing her since 2013. Never a loss to her. I don't know what's going on. I think Sloan too rich, man. You know, she came from having money. She's been really
For
successful. She
real.
gets all these deals. She's a beautiful woman, and now she's married to a guy who's extremely rich. So you know, her dude goes out the door. He's one of the biggest soccer names ever on this continent. So I hope that she has a baby with him. Chills, takes some time away from tour and does the family because I could tell that she's not practicing. Her mind is not there right now. It makes no sense that she literally got broke every service game in the first set. So she goes 0 for 4 serving in the first set, and in the second set she loses for 5. So she gets broken 4 or 5 times in the second. Now she's breaking back more, but what difference does it make if you
You gonna
can't
get it
hold your
back,
serve, man?
right?
So I don't know what's going on with her serve game. I don't know if she still has the same coach that she had Kamal. What's Kamal's last name, Spread?
Murray, I think.
Kamal Murray. I don't know if Kamal Murray's still coaching or not, but she got to do something. I know she's had a very successful career, probably one of the highest earning American women to play tennis. But man, she's not looking good right now. She's a fade, man. Right now, she's not big money Sloan.
Yeah, but I only play her in those big matches. Sino, did you see any of that match?
No, I did not, and I'm glad I didn't because I'd be thinking big money Sloan. As soon as she went down and I seen some plus, I would have been hamming. I'd be mad as hell right now.
Hey, sometimes taking a nap pays. What about Maria? She got it done against Anna Bondar's 5-star. The only thing I'm surprised about is that it took 3 sets.
I was so pissed that she did that, man, because she should have beat her in 2 sets. She was playing around with her food. Just like I said, she was going to slice Bondor into so many areas. Bondor isn't patient enough to play a player like Maria. And
She's not fast enough to be super good on defense.
yeah, she's not fast enough. And then when it comes to trying to hit, she gets frustrated and tries to hit winners. And she doesn't have the type of game to paint lines like you need. If you playing Maria, you just got to hit number winners against her because she's just trying to frustrate you by getting the ball back over and over. She's slicing you short, slicing you deep. And if you're not a patient player, or if you're not a player who understands how to really, take advantage of the court, you're gonna lose to her, man. And we end up cashing out. So I'm glad we went 2 for 3 on the 10, man. Let's get to this president. Give out some winners for today, though.
All right, let's move into it. Michigan State traveling to take on the Maryland Terrapins. Terrapins laying 4. What should we look for in this game tonight, 5-star?
These are 2 of the better teams in the Big Ten, man. Both of these guys can really play ball. A lot of really good players on the team. Michigan State has dominated the matchup so far. They've won 6 straight, which means that Maryland should be pretty high for them coming into the arena. Maryland is 16-1 at home this year. Really good squad over there, Maryland, man. They have a kid who might end up being the number, I say 2 or 3 pick right after Cooper Flag, right after Harper from Rutgers, Ron Harper's kid. Man, this guy can go, man. He's a 7-foot center. I'm talking about Derek Queen. And he's so versatile, man. He can step out. He can shoot the 3, plays really good defense, can move really well. So they have him, and they have him right next to Julian Reese, who's Angel Reese's brother. And he balls just like his sister, man. He can go. Left-handed kid like his sister as well. Really aggressive, plays really good on the defensive side of the ball, and also a really great rebounder. The thing that kind of pushed Maryland up to a better team was when they got the transfer kid, Jacoby Gillespie, that came in. This guy's a really good 3-point shooter. He came over there from Belmont, I believe, and he's really changed the whole dynamics of their team. Now they're more of a scoring team. Before they were a defensive first team. Michigan State, we got Izzo with one of his better teams, and Izzo is probably going to make a real deep run with this squad, man. I like everything going about the squad. It's easy for him to coach defense and rebounding, but what he's always struggled with of late is having really good playmakers and offensive guys, and now he does. He has some guys that can really put the ball inside the basket over there, including Jason Richardson's son. He's over there. We got all these players we used to watch. Their kids are playing now. We're old as hell. So that's all I think when I see these guys. I be like, I remember when his dad was playing in college, and now he's in college, man. So it's a blessing, man, to see so much sports and we use it and benefit from it. Man, I'll probably be a no play on this one. I think I'm going to wait, see who takes the lead early, and try to jump in live and catch a sweet number because Michigan State has had so much success in the past against Maryland that they won't fear coming into their gym. Right now they're 5-2 on the road, so they play really well. 22-5 on the year. Maryland's 21-6, but as I said, they're 16-1 at home. Against the spread on the road, though, Michigan State is 5-1-1. I still remember the only game that they lost because I bet against them. I had USC that game. Webb and I was sitting inside the wind betting the game, and Mateen Cleaves and some big money alumni were behind us, and they lost a lot of money on that game betting on Michigan State, man. So Michigan State is just a real good team. I'd lean Michigan State. Anytime you can get points from Michigan State, it's a good look. But I'll probably wait and see on this one. It's one of those ones, guys, you hunt for an advantage either live or for the second half. But a really good game we're going to see tonight.
Sino, are you going to bet on this one?
I don't know. It's kind of tough. I was looking at it earlier. Maryland, they tied with Wisconsin for third in the Big Ten right now. And the game right here could push them up to second place. So they definitely will come out to play this team. So I don't know. We're going to catch some end game. And you know how we roll second half usually is the best way to go in these type of games. So be looking out for that.
Yep.
All right. We got a bigger spread here when Auburn hosts Ole Miss. Auburn laying 13.5 at home. Is this too much, too little? What do you think of this spread?
Ole Miss has really been frustrating me. They started out pretty good and were playing really well. As I've told you before, I'm a big fan of their coach. Their coach has been successful everywhere he went. He started out at Texas Tech, gets them to the Final Four and the national championship game, I believe, with Terrence Shannon as a freshman. And then after that, Chris Beard goes to the Texas Longhorns, building that program, gets in some trouble, goes to Ole Miss. Now Ole Miss has dropped 4 or 5 contests. They're going through that gauntlet, man. The SEC is the toughest conference in college basketball. Not a lot of success against Auburn, man. They've lost now 7 straight against Auburn, 8-2 in the last 10, but they have played them under the number 4-6. Is Auburn against Ole Miss against the spread the last 10 times they played with different coaching staffs for Ole Miss. Bruce Pearl has been at Auburn forever. He's not going anywhere. The boosters give him anything he wants, and he's usually able to put together a really good team every year. They like to play up tempo. They like to push the ball. It's no way on this one that I'm fading Auburn, so I'd probably go Auburn first half on this one. I think they blitz them early, and I think that maybe Ole Miss threads the line late. But I see Auburn coming out pretty strong in this game, man. They're a really good home team, 12-1, and they just seem to get on people's heads early. Not that strong of a start last game, only put up 29 points. So I look for a faster start in this one for sure. When they played Ole Miss earlier in the month, they had a 7-point lead at halftime, put up 41 points on them. I just don't see how Ole Miss can slow down Auburn if they want to go through Johnny Broom and things like that. I just don't see them being able to keep up with them. So we'll cut the game in half. Let's go first half Auburn. I believe it's -7.
What do you think, Sino? Are you getting involved?
This is another one of those games I play just like 5-star. Like you said, Auburn 12 at home this season. As they riding a 4-game win streak and boasting a 9-2 record against top 25 teams. In the paint, they definitely have the edge. I'm looking at it. They rank 5th in the SEC in rebounding. Ole Miss look like they're stuck at 16th. Yep. The Tigers, they simply dominate down low, and that's going to be trouble for the Rebels. They can play clean, efficient ball, and when they protected it well, Ole Miss, they struggled a whole lot. So, just looking at it, Auburn first half, and if Auburn doesn't win the first half, you got to double down second half. Ole Miss just been ice cold lately. What, they 4-6 in their last 10 games, and a brutal 2-7 and 1 against the spread in that stretch. How could we even talk about taking that team? So Auburn definitely in the right play. Let's ride with 5-star on that one.
All right. Looking at the favorite in that matchup. Let's talk about it. It's still weird to say, 5-star. It's a Big Ten matchup when Ohio State travels to take on USC, huh? All right. What do we think here? Buckeyes, Trojans. Pretty short spread. Ohio State, short road favorite. What do you think?
Both teams have lost 3 straight. But the thing is that's strange. I think that the Big Ten, they thought that the only advantage would be for teams in football in colder areas when the teams traveled there, but it's also an advantage for teams in LA because if you come from Ohio at this time of the year and it's cold and it's dreary every day, and then you get a chance to go out to LA, young kids who, especially with AAU now and how the world is a lot smaller with social media, most of these basketball kids have been to LA, kicking in LA, know some people in LA. So I think that it's an advantage for USC and UCLA as well that teams travel from these cold conditions and now they got to deal with, is this a vacation or is this a game? You know, like I'm coming out, I'm seeing all these girls, I'm at the beach. So Ohio State just lost to UCLA by 8 points, gave a really good effort, but I'm guessing that they probably stayed this whole time, these 3 days until they played USC out in LA. Were the guys smoking a little kush? Were they hanging with the girls a little bit? You know, like, come on, this is California. These are young kids. USC is hungry. Haven't had a win in the last 3 contests, as I said. Eric Musselman is a really good coach. They've been dealing with some issues with injuries. Desmond Cloud, who was their big-time point guard that transferred over there from Xavier, he's just not getting back, involved in the team. He looked good last game against Rutgers, but before that, he struggled a little bit because he was dealing with injuries. I think he's getting right now. He runs along with a dude I really could for. That's Wesley Yates, man. I want to see him do well. I'm familiar with his dad. His dad kind of runs around with my homeboy Derek, so he's out there from the Beaumont area. And Wesley Yates the third is a hooper, man. He's going to make it to the pros, bro. And I think that he and Claude have just enough tonight to get it done. So I'm going with USC plus 1.5 and money line at home on this one.
All right. Are you getting involved in this one, Sino?
5-star or something again. The Trojans have a couple things working in their favor. You ask me. First off, they're playing at home, and they're 11-6 this season at home compared to Ohio State. Trash on the road, 3-6, and they're coming off 3 straight losses. Like you said, it's definitely a tough spot to be in. And Ohio State got the worst turnover differential in the Big Ten. I think this gonna be a close game just based off the spread minus 1.5. That's very, very tight. And on the road, the Buckeyes offense it dips to 40.5% shooting, and their defenses are doing no favors either. They letting opponents hit 45.8% from the field. So I think USC should definitely have the edge efficiency right here. So I'm with you on that one, 5. Let's take USC at home.
Yeah, I think that Ohio State's coach is losing their locker room. They have a lot of talent. They were having a real good push, man, and it seemed like something changed, man. I don't know what happened over there because Thornton's not playing right, who's their main scorer at point guard, and he has some really good pieces around him, including a transfer, Ahmad Bradshaw from Kentucky, who was playing well. And just their performances have really dipped. Whereas in USC, they're losing games, but I'm seeing a lot of effort from them. Even though they're losing, they're right there with these teams that they're supposed to lose to. So I think you're right, we're going to be on USC at home.
All right. Let's move to the NBA. We talked about it before. The Detroit Pistons, man, they are hot. But toughest test yet, Boston Celtics. Sino, I'll start with you here.
Jesus Christ, I have a love-hate relationship with the Celtics, you guys.
Well, every bettor does because they either win by 30 or they lose to teams like they lose to the Lakers when all their stars are sitting out.
Secret in 1 second. Go ahead.
Hey, look, and I already know what Big Brother gonna say. Anytime the Celtics play on a national television in the first quarter, you just bet the Celtics. Exactly. It's simple as that.
That's it.
It's simple as that. Anything else around it, fade the Celtics. And look, right now, Celtics are both teams coming off a back-to-back. Celtics just played the Toronto Raptors, if I'm not mistaken. That was a big spread also. In Detroit, we rolling with the Pistons again at home.
They catching 5. I mean,
we take.
To me, it's Pistons are past, but I just wonder. We've seen this with these up and coming teams, right, where they do so good on these nice stretches, but then they face the best of the best, and you got to think the Celtics aren't going to overlook them tonight.
Oh, hell no.
Like they would, if they were only 5-5 over the last 10 games. I mean, it kind of got the attention of the league right now, which will be interesting. 5-star, what's your strategy for the Celtics?
First quarter. That's all I'm playing.
Straight up.
First quarter. And the over might be good on this one first quarter because the Pistons play good at home on the first quarter as well. But I'm not getting involved with the full game because there's no way in hell I'm about to just say I'm going to take 5 points with the Pistons against the Celtics because we know the Celtics can play their backups and beat them by 20 if we're going to be for real because it's the system. It's the system that comes all the way up top from the general manager who used to be a coach in Brad Stevens that he passed down to Udoka, and now he's passed down to Mazzulla. And the difference is Mazzulla's a little bit more offensive-minded with being a point guard than Udoka was. Udoka's always a defensive guy first, push guys. They're a lot more free-flowing under Mazzulla. he has a weird way of coaching, but it really works. He's a stand-up dude, not like everything about Joe Mazzulla, man. And the Celtics perform for him, man. It doesn't matter who's in the game; they're just gonna run their stuff, and it's gonna look the same way. So I'm taking the Celtics first quarter, but I would still probably take the Celtics honestly for the game. It's just a funny number like that they're trying to bag you, but if they're not, you're gonna feel really bad because the Celtics gonna make the Pistons look like who they are, the Pistons. You know, like, if the Celtics really come to play, and it ain't no Vegas stuff involved, you're gonna be mad because they're gonna beat them by like 20. But we'll just keep it to the first quarter because for some reason the books have not really changed their lines. They still are going like this. For instance, I think I'll get the Celtics first half probably -1.5 because the whole game is 5. So they haven't adjusted the system yet, where they can see like, oh man, the Celtics beat ass the first quarter. And we're going to keep it that way until they do, and keep betting the Celtics first quarter. You can just look over the last 7 games in the first quarter. They're not even close with them and any of their opponents. Just like last night, me and the clients, we cashed big on Toronto. They win by 11, but they win by the game. The game they don't cover, so just play the Celtics first quarter, bro. That's the best way to approach it for me.
All right. Next NBA game on the docket is the Oklahoma City Thunder are laying 17.5 on the road.
I can do this at first.
I was going to say Nets or pass, but I'm going to pass. I mean, you're laying it?
Belt to ass. Belt to ass. Belt to ass. After the Oklahoma City Thunder lost last night, the Brooklyn Nets do not stand a chance. Belt to ass. Simple as that. Blowout. 30 points. Blowout. Blowout. Alternate line. Thunder -25.5. Not tonight.
What do you think, 5-star? I'm not. I'll root for you, Sino.
About that one, man. The Nets been playing good, Sino. But Sino has worked at the books. He knows what they're trying to do with laying a number that big. Because I thought it was like 14.5. When I saw 17.5, I was like, damn. When I was
there you go.
The numbers, I thought it was 14.5.
It was 16.5 last night. So Thunder have actually taken money.
If I'm gonna play this one, I'm gonna be honest. I'm taking Brooklyn, man. They 7-3 in their last 10, 7-3 against the spread. They've covered some pretty big spreads at home. They just covered against Cleveland by the skin of their teeth. No, I'm sorry, they lost that one. They did not cover. They lost by 13, so they did not cover. They lost by 1. Let's see what kind of competition they've been playing. They money line my Rockets as 12.5 dogs. They also money line my Rockets as 9-point dogs. So that was a good one. This is a big step up in competition. As you said, Shea and them boys are going to be ticked off. So I probably, if I'm going to take OKC, it'd be more the first half. I don't think that they'll blow them out for the game. I just feel like that's too many points against a professional team. And the Nets aren't sorry like that, man. Like I feel like they give a good effort every night. You got Nick Claxton over there. I think Cam Johnson has some, fight about him. If my little brother's right, then so be it. But I personally would play the Nets, and I think spread is on the same side as me on that one. So Sino is alone on that one, but he bets a lot of NBA.
All right, Sino, we'll see who gets the victory there. Finally, 5-star, your Houston Rockets take
free
on
money.
San Antonio Spurs. But now that Victor Wembanyama is out for the season, Spurs don't necessarily look as intimidating. This was the little budding rival. I mean, obviously Texas has always been a rivalry, right? But it was starting to feel like some heat again where the players didn't like each other. A little disappointed that Victor won't be out there for the rest of the season. Rockets are laying 9. Is that too much for your hometown heroes? How do you see this one going?
This one right here, man, I'm not laying 9 points just because we're on a back-to-back. I don't think our man Thompson got suspended or anything for that foul on Giannis last night, but shout out to him. Great foul. That's the type of energy that we want to set in that locker room. And as a team, we want people to know when you play the Houston Rockets, it's going to be a battle. We don't care who you are. A lot of guys have been in the league a lot of years, and they allow Giannis to do so much stuff to him, elbow him, push him, foul him, and just be aggressive. And he flourishes off of that. That's what makes him have energy. He was surprised that our men fouled him like that. If he got locker room, he was like, man, I don't have a problem with it because he thought about it like, man, this kid has had some fight like me. That's some shit I would have did when I was young. So I really like that our man Thompson took that foul. Me personally, I'll be playing props on this one. Let's go with the prop game on this one. I think that we see a really good game from our man Thompson tonight. I think that my guy bounces back from getting, thrown out the game, wants to impress his coach. He only had 9 points last night. He's going to be a nationally televised game. He's going to get a lot of minutes. We know he plays freaking 40 minutes a night. Our man Thompson different, man. He about to be something special. If you don't watch the Rockets enough, you won't know it. But the Rockets got a great young team, bro. Like, long as Tari, me and Spread probably the first guys who, when they drafted Tari Eason, was like yelling to the rooftop, like they got a top 5 pick, and like in the middle of the first round. And we've seen it when Tari plays, he starts. Jabari's coming out the bench and he's not complaining. He's doing a good job. He's a top 3 pick. Then you got Jalen Green. He was the number 2 pick, and he's going to give you 20 a night. But our men is different, bro. Our men is one of those guys that's an athlete to athletes. Like, guys in the NBA look at him and like, wow. And we've never seen the combination he is, because he's kind of like has the athleticism of Ja Morant, the speed of Ja Morant, but then he's 6'8", then he's strong as hell, and then he has a bad attitude, and he likes to play defense, and he likes to rebound. So he's just a different monster. He's kind of like a baby LeBron with more of a fighting attitude, bro. I think he's going to be hell in the league. I think we might have got the one in our man Thompson, bro. When I see him play every night, it's always something he does every night where I say, damn, like, went from snatching rebounds off 7-footers head, and he's touching the box, getting the rebound, to going 100 miles per hour, can go between his legs, behind his back, and still make a no-look. Like, come on, it's different. And then now you come and you're big enough to hold Giannis and hack him so hard that he feels it. Like, that's a different type of athlete, bro. Ja is too small to do any of that. So I think that our man Thompson is going to be all pro, like the next 5 years of basketball of his life in his prime, and is going to be a really special player. As far as in this game, I'm just taking him to go over on his points because of what happened last night when him getting thrown out and not having a really good game before that. And I think his frustration from missing a lot of easy shots is why he kind of went crazy on that foul. I think he bounced it back tonight. Let's go over 15.5 for our man Thompson.
The Thompson twins, both of them, when they came out, the scouts were just wowed by their athleticism. And in a league that is increasingly more and more athletic, to jump out like that really says something. So really what it came down to was, were they going to work? But like you said, not only do they have a good work ethic, they got that competitive dog in them too.
Yeah.
A wonderful combination. You got to be happy to have a player like that. And I think his brother's kind of been key in this run here for Detroit too. So 2 exciting young players. Sino, you're getting involved when the Rockets host.
Most definitely. This is like an easy bounce back spot for the Rockets. They've been in a tough stretch. I'm feeling real good about this one. No win beyond it for San Antonio. I'm surprised 5 started to say, let's take Sagoon over 19.5. I think he should give him hell and feast down there. In Houston, they always own the Spurs. They 5-1 straight up. 4-2 against the spread in their last 6. And last time they played, they steamrolled them. They beat them by like 27-28. And I love spots like this. -9 in Houston Rockets. And the Spurs, they played a lot of basketball against the New Orleans Pelicans last night. So they're going to have to keep up again tonight with this team. Houston, my first official play. We're going to max bet. Houston -9. Let's go.
Let's go.
All right. 5-star, it's time for the ball and parlay. What do you got?
Yeah, let me know what I'm going to go to always. That's tennis, man. That's my favorite sport to bet this time of year. I love college basketball as well, but right now I'm doing really good on tennis, getting a really good read on it. Let's go to Mexico first. We're going to go to the WTA. I think that Navarro completely outclasses Martic. If you can find her 2-0 at -145, I take that, but also I parlay. Let's do Navarro at -350, and we're going to put her with Navone. Going to be playing tomorrow in Santiago. And in, what is that, Chile? Yeah, Santiago, Chile. I think that he'll be able to get it done against Zurma. Zurma had an upset the other night. So if you put Navone together with Navarro, you're going to get a -125, which is a great payout. So let's go with a 2-team, ATP, Navone at Santiago, and also put him with Navarro in Mexico. And then as a straight bet, we're going to go with Gracheva. I believe they're in Austin on that one. Tomorrow morning, I think that Caroline Dolehide is just going to always be just a bottom-ranked player. Gracheva isn't much better than her, but she does have more success on this level of the tour. I think on the hard courts, her serve will be able to be a real weapon for her. She'll be able to protect her serve more times than Dolehide. So at -115, give me Gracheva. They faced off before, and Gracheva's beaten Dolehide before. Anytime I can get anyone against Dolehide that's a top 100 player at -115, I'm going to try it.
Sino, what are you playing tonight?
Shit, we're going to go right back to the game we just talked about, man. Why not? Let's take Sagoon over 19.5 points. And, of course, we're going to lay the 9 with the Houston Rockets. Like I said, no Victor Wembanyama tonight, man. I think he's going to cut up in the paint. And San Antonio, they got to drive that 4-hour drive from New Orleans. So, you know, Houston just been chilling at home. They ready to go, especially after they just beat up on the Bucks last night.
I'm taking the New York Knicks tonight. Philadelphia 76ers have embraced the tank. And this is where, you know, people criticize the league. Some of these fixes, I think, are a lot easier. They got to stop allowing these pick protections. I think that leads to more tanking than anything else, because now you're looking at Philadelphia, obviously a disappointing season, obviously no idea what's going on with the future of Embiid, if he's going to be able to rehab this or if it's just over for him. I'm not a doctor, but I mean, it seems like it's 50-50 from everything I'm reading. And they have a top 6 protected pick. So it looks like they're going all in on this pick protection. So they've not been trying to win at all. They have not won in 9 games, and they didn't even cover the spread in any of those games. The Knicks have played the Sixers twice. The Knicks covered in both games. Also, you know, we talked about the bounce back spot for the Thunder. Also a bounce back spot for the Knicks. They were playing pretty well, 4 in a row wins, 2 tough losses to the 2 best teams in the East, Cleveland and Boston. Here's a chance to beat up on a rival, even though the players, you know, might who they're going against. The 76ers not that excited. The Knicks fans are excited to beat up on the Sixers fans here. So, you know, until Philadelphia shows a pulse at all, but they're really right on the edge of protecting that number 6, and I think it's going to be pretty ugly from this team for the rest of the year. So for me on the 76ers, I'm either going to fade them or I'm not going to play the game unless something changes. But as of right now, they're a pure fade, and I'm going to take the New York Knicks -9.5.
Great play. And another fun fact just about that game, I got something that I always pull up. Nick Nurse, anytime the line is more than 9.5 and he's been coaching, and in the previous matchup, the team had less than 13 offensive rebounds, it always flies over some reason. It's like, you know, to the over. Yeah, I've been tracking that since like 2023, since I came in. I was working in the books and just chilling up in there. So that's some good information right here. All this season it went over, so I definitely think the over would be a good play now.
All right, an extra play from Sino. Hey guys, another one is down. We're trying to get 3 times a weekend for you fellas and ladies, so that you guys can understand that we want you to win, that we're going to be present, that you can't rely on the wagering world. Anything for the people, Sino, before we get out of here?
Nah, same old routine, man. I ain't hard to find. Right down Twitter, man. You want some winners? Listen to the Wagering World. Hit the DM. Simple as that.
Anything for the people, Spread, before we get out of here?
Man, this was fun today. Looking forward to Friday.
All right, guys. If you didn't catch my tennis, once again, we're going with Navon, who's ATP. He's going to be on the clay, which he's really good at. Pretty much a full-time clay player. He does play in the majors, but anytime he's off season, he runs around in that Latin America area, and he's got a pretty good matchup against Zamora. I want you to parlay that one with Navarro in Mexico. A lot of people don't know she's a Mexican-American. Her family is Mexican and American, so we'll probably get a really good effort out of her as she's in Mexico with a very beatable opponent in Marta. And also on the straight bet, we're going to go with Gracheva, the young lady from Russia that now represents Paris, going against Caroline Dolehide, the American who's been on tour a really long time and never really done much. Guys, we appreciate you for tuning in. We're going to be back on Friday. As always, it's us versus the machine. You guys go to the website, www.thewageringworld.com. I just got out some of the merch to Sino and to Spread, so you're going to start seeing us rock a lot more of it here on the show. We appreciate the orders that we've already been getting from you guys. We'll have it out to you guys within 2 weeks. Everything is, going smooth, and we're building it up, man. And we are so glad that you guys are part of the Wagering World and building it with us. Hit that like button. Tell your friends, tell your family to subscribe to the Wagering World on YouTube. See you guys on Friday.
And as always, I dedicate this show to the greatest Houston sports fan that I know, and that's my father, John H. Lindsay. I do this for you, Dad. Subscribe to the Wagering World on YouTube.